Say what's cracking, YouTube? It's your boy 16 to life, and I'm back like I'm on a parole violation. Yard down. Now, for those of y'all that's new to my page, in 1994, I got arrested. I was eventually sentenced to 16 years plus life, and I served 24 years straight in the California prison system. But enough of that, man. Let's hop right up into this video right here today. So, today I'm going to be talking about the beef between Drake and Kendrick Lamar. I got a lot of requests actually or comments saying people wanted to hear my opinion on that, and I'm assuming it's because I do a little rapping myself, man. If you haven't checked my music out, go to my YouTube playlist, scroll down to gas stations, man, and I'm telling you, you're gonna be impressed, right? And so let me start this video off with a caveat, right? First and foremost, I haven't been really caught up in the Kendrick Lamar hype, right? I don't necessarily see the big hoopla around his lyrical skills. But I must be fair in also saying that I haven't listened to a whole lot of his music. I've heard a few songs, and so maybe I need to listen to more of his music before I form an opinion. And then also about Drake, right? I'm from a generation of rappers where if you don't write your own lyrics, you're not a rapper. You're not competing. I mean, it's not like a R&B song, when it comes to a rap lyric, man. Where somebody else can write it and you can sing it. A rap is supposed to be something that you came up with, or at least in my generation, in order to be considered a real rapper, a real MC, because so if Drake is not writing his own raps, which many people have said that, then I'm not even battling you. I'm battling other people, right? And so if, in my opinion, if Drake's not writing his own raps, he's automatically qualified. But I am a fan of the music, or I won't necessarily say a fan, right? But I do like a lot of the music that Drake puts out. It's consistent. A lot of times it has good, good beats. He can rap pretty well, or at least he can recite lyrics pretty well, So anyway, with that being said, though, I wasn't listening to the beef per se, right? A friend of mine, man, who I was locked up with, he was there when I happened to win a couple rap contests, and so he knows that I rap, He sent the song, he told me to go check out Euphoria by Kendrick Lamar. And to me, some of the song was good, right? In my opinion, the writing of the song wasn't consistent. Some parts would be much better than others, and so then I started looking at, because I've been hearing about the beef, but then I started looking more into it, right? And trying to understand why they had fell out and all that old type of stuff. And then also it tripped me out how Rick Ross and Drake suddenly fell out, because they have made a lot of songs together. I know they've made at least over 10, 12 songs, They have been doing a lot of collaborations and stuff. And so it just trips me out, to digress a little bit, right? How these two dudes who are millionaires many times over, they have a cool relationship, and then suddenly they start beefing, right? So I'm just wondering, both of you guys are living lives that many people would love to have, and suddenly, you guys start beefing. So I'm just wondering, what could the beef be about? I mean, both you guys seem like you're pretty happy with the lives you're living, unless it's about a female, And if it's about a woman, that's something that I really can't understand, because we already know that, having large sums of money, these guys can have many beautiful women, right? So I can understand you being a rich rapper, you falling in love with a woman, and then maybe she's intrigued or whatever by some other rapper, and she goes and she hops into a relationship or cheats on you. And I can understand a rapper or a man period getting upset by that, right? And but if that's the case, then she never was the woman for you from the get-go, right? So it's just hard for me, being an old school dude, man, to where, in my era, we didn't believe in tricking and all that old type of stuff, man. If I can't get her with her, if I can't get her with my mouthpiece, I don't need her, you know. But this is the new generation where, you know, they say it ain't tricking if you can afford it. And I feel that sometimes, you know, men of this generation, they want to try to buy a woman's love. You know, they want to do things financially that will impress her. But, you know, the woman, in my opinion, many times, if that's the case, she's not necessarily there for you. She's there for all the things that you can do for her. And so when she sees another dude who she may find handsome, who also happens to be a rapper, that might be the reason that she strays and she goes and messes with this dude, because she's not attracted to you. She's attracted to what you're doing for her. So, you know, I don't know though. But as far as the battle, right? The battle, to me, you know, I didn't like a lot of the beats that Drake or Kendrick Lamar used. You know, in my opinion, the beats also have to be epic, and they also have to match the lyrics. You know, when I think of epic diss records, one of the first songs that comes to mind is No Vaseline by Ice Cube, when he dissed NWA. For the young dudes out there who may not have heard of that, man, if you turn on No Vaseline right now, it's the music alone is still good music. The music has stood the test of time, right? And that's why that will always be one of the best, if not the best, diss record, right? But now let's talk about some other diss records. Let's talk about other diss records that are considered great diss records. Let's talk about Jay-Z when he dissed Nas. The name of the song, I can't think of it right now, but if you turn that on right now, The Takeover, that's the name of it. The beat is still banging. The beat is still, you know, you're gonna nod your head, man, regardless of how many years ago that beat was made. And let's go with another record. Nas, Ether. You turn that beat on, that beat is still hard, you know. So several people have used all those beats, but especially the Takeover beat and the Ether beat, you know, to rap over or do new music to, because the beat by themselves are tremendous beats, right? And so that's something that I believe that Kendrick Lamar and Drake failed to do, pick great beats, right, to use as diss records, you know. But I understand nowadays that the landscape of music has changed drastically, right? And some of those records just kind of seemed like, especially some of the beats that Drake picked, kind of seemed like party records. You know, they didn't seem like, you know, because when you diss an individual, you know, you like I said, you want it to be epic, man. And now, and in terms of the dissing, going back and forth, right? I believe those dudes got extremely personal, right? You know how sometimes you have rappers diss each other and later on down the road they're able to reconcile, you know, because it was just hip hop. And now I also feel that these two dudes dissing each other, right, it's good for hip hop, right? The culture of hip hop. But it's also bad because nowadays the culture of hip hop has changed from back when Nas and Jay-Z was dissing each other. Back when, you know, maybe and this is going back deep, when LL Cool J and Cool Mo D was going at it, you know. Now the climate of dissing it can get so ugly and violent, right? Because if we think about all the rappers that has been lost, and so that's my main concern, right? I would hate for these two groups or these two camps to run into each other later on down the line, and one of these rappers, or even somebody in each one of these rappers' respective cliques, you know, lose their life. Because if you ask, in my opinion, hip hop has suffered tremendously in terms of the talent that has been lost, you know, due to negativity in the streets, due to violence. Man, I can go on and on and on and on, man, about some of the great rappers that's been lost. You know, of course, starting off with Biggie and Pac and you know, just Mo 3, King Von, FBG Duck. You know, it just goes on and on. Soldier Slim, you know, we can just go on and on and on. Pop Smoke, on and on and on and on about the tremendous rappers that we lost, you know, due to gun violence and stuff like that. So it's a very dangerous time you know, to be dissing and stuff. And then especially like I said, with some of the things these two rappers said, you know, I don't necessarily think that it could ever be reconciled, right? You know, the P word was held out there, you know, the pedophile word, calling each other stuff like that, and just, you know, accusing dudes of just doing things that's really tough, tough character assassination, right? And just, I think that, you know, it's crazy. And I remember somebody asked me, I've got asked this several times since I've been free, right? Dudes in my comments, hey, chill, could you ever do the battle rapping thing? Lyrically, most definitely, man. Lyrically, most definitely. I could easily get up there and do it. But my problem is, to the extent these dudes go to diss each other in their lyrics, you know, talking about each other's kids and mamas and calling each other bitches and all that old type of stuff. To me, that's beyond the scope of battling, right? That's, you know, that's beyond the scope of battling. You know, saying all these things that are, you know, when you all up in a dude's face calling him bitches, and to me that's not, you know, that in the, you know, in the name of trying to get popular, or in the name of chasing a dollar, you know, just to me that's something that I wouldn't do to another individual, you know. And it's also something that I wouldn't want an individual doing to me, and, you know, just behind a battle. I'm not gonna feel good about a person in my face being disrespectful like that. I'm not gonna, you know, so I wouldn't even put myself in that position, right? Now, going back to who I think won the battle, because I have been in numerous rap battles myself. You know, a lot of times in prison, we're outside on the yard, we're rapping, we're battling, but it's really, the battle back then was really about who was more lyrical, who was the better MC, not necessarily trying to diss another person and put a person down. Though there were times when I've seen that happen, but to a certain extent, because we got to keep in mind that prison, all prisons, I'm assuming, but especially the California prison, is predicated upon respect, right? And so I've seen, like I say, I've seen battles. I've been involved in many battles. And you may have an extremely lyrical dude in a battle, but if he's rapping against a dude who's going to take a few personal jabs, say you got two dudes rapping, right, on the prison yard. One dude got beat up and ran off a yard, but he's rapping. So he comes to another yard, they happen to get into a battle, and the dude who got beat up and ran off the yard, he's extremely lyrical, he's good. But the other dude has knowledge of this dude being beat up. The other dude has knowledge, sorry about that, a call was coming through, and so I don't know if my recording stopped or whatever. But let's say the other dude has knowledge of this dude being beat up and ran off that yard, and a few people on the yard know, or whatever. And the dude, he mentions that in his rap, like, you know, you got knocked out on the other yard, laid about your boots, dude busts you up, blah blah blah. You know, of course, that's gonna send the people listening into fits. They're gonna be laughing. They go, oh man, did you hear what he said? And so even though he may not be as lyrical as the dude who got knocked off, just throwing in that personal throwing in that, I had another call coming, sorry about that. Throwing in that personal jab is going to make many people view him as the winner, because he said something that was kind of personal, or he said something that was funny. So who do I feel won that battle? Definitely Kendrick Lamar. I can't even remember the name of the song right now, but when he was talking about basically the rap where he mentioned Drake's father, and he mentioned their mother, saying, you know, you raised a horrible son and blah blah blah. That was extremely, you know, that was a personal song right there. I seen in the comments of that song, a lot of people didn't like that beat. I did like the beat. Then I like the last song that Drake came with. What was it? The Heartbreak Part 6 or whatever it was called. I like that. I like the way it was lyrically structured and stuff like that. But you know, it was just really hard to bounce back from that diss that Kendrick Lamar did, right? And so, like I say, it seems like maybe that is possibly over. Who knows? I definitely don't think that whatever they got going on can be reconciled due to the nature of these tremendously disrespectful songs, you know. And so my whole thing is, I'm just hoping, like I said, later on down the line, that, you know, it doesn't get violent, it doesn't get personal. I mean, it doesn't get physical, and somebody, suffer injury or lose their life behind this stuff, because eventually, maybe down the line, who knows, they may be doing a concert somewhere or whatever, or happen to bump into each other and things get ugly, man. But in my opinion, yeah, Kendrick Lamar definitely won that battle. But anyway, you already know who it is. It's your boy 16 to Life. Resume normal program.